Hello and welcome to another video from one of the only channels that you need to not only survive the current apocalypse, but actually enjoy it. And today I'm going to be introducing a brand new channel to keep you occupied whenever I'm not posting anything on this channel. There was a time when I was searching for a religion that taught the truth, mostly by reading books published by and about many different religions. My search began shortly after I discovered and read the Bible. I was able to instantly recognize that what I had read in the Bible was truth. There was no denying it. And so I kind of understood that I was probably not going to find the truth in any religion that wasn't Bible-based. But not wanting to miss out, I studied many religions that in fact were not Bible-based. Huge religions such as Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism, but also hundreds of other religions practiced by very few people. I'm very glad that I did, because no matter what religion I studied, I was always able to recognize somewhat of a common thread running through all of them. I also studied about and attended church services of many Bible-based religions. What I was able to learn from doing so is that many non-biblical religions actually have teachings that are closer to those of the Bible than many of the Bible-based religions. Even still, I was also able to instantly recognize that unlike the Bible, which is obviously based on truth, none of those religions were based on truth at all. There were little bits and pieces of truth taught and believed in by every religion, but that wasn't what I was looking for. I wanted to worship with others like myself who were hungry for the truth and willing to share that truth with one another. After decades of studying everything that I could get my hands on, I finally got down on my knees, put my hands together in prayer, and promised my God that I would never waste another minute of my time attending a church service. I knew that I could learn a lot more in an hour of Bible study than I could ever learn in an hour of church. For the most part, people who attend church just want a structured way of looking busy for just in case God is somehow watching them. Then, in 1988, some Jehovah's Witnesses showed up at my door. I had read a few publications about Jehovah's Witnesses, but I had never actually read anything published by Jehovah's Witnesses. The Watchtower magazine that they left with me was unlike anything that I had ever read from any other religion. To say that I was amazed would be an understatement. As soon as I found out the where and when of their meetings, I began attending. I know what you're thinking right now. Why would I go back on my promise to God? Well, it's simple. Just like the prayer about never going to church, again, I got down on my knees, put my hands together, and prayed once more. And in that prayer, I explained my predicament to my Father and asked Him for some direction as to what I should do. I got no reply. Anyway, I attended the meetings of the Jehovah's Witnesses for about 13 years. It only took about a month before I heard an obvious lie being preached from the podium. And at about the same time, I read a lie out of the Watchtower magazine. I asked one of the elders of the congregation about it, and they explained to me that Jehovah's Witnesses were constantly learning new things. and if in fact one of their teachings was flawed, it would eventually be corrected. All that I had to do was be patient. But he also told me that over time I might read an article that explained things better, and I would realize that it was I who was wrong. As I said earlier, I attended the meetings for about 13 years, and I got to listen to many, many lies, not just from the organization, but also from other members of the congregation. As I progressed in my studies and my knowledge increased, I started to realize that just like all of Lord Satan's other religions, the Jehovah's Witness faith was based almost entirely on lies. The point that I'm trying to make is this. I have gone through the same process that most of you are currently going through. And for a certainty, we really don't have enough time left before the last days begin. It took me decades to get where I am. Someone starting out on their search for truth today doesn't have decades left. The point to keep in mind is that I wanted so bad to be part of something bigger than myself that I was willing to accept a whole lot of nonsense as part of that process. Being fooled into believing in lies can severely hinder a person's spiritual growth. I find that many of my scribers are a lot like me. That being the case, people are regularly sending me information that is just as foolish as the stuff that I used to believe in. It is my hope that by giving all of you something else to watch, it will decrease the amount of videos that are currently being shared with me about things like Hillary Clinton is a reptilian, Michelle Obama is a man, Jesus faked his death, 9/11 was an inside job. Actually, that last one is pretty much an accepted fact at this point. But that doesn't mean that I want to spend all day watching videos about it. Come to think about it, some of that other stuff might be true as well. In any case, today I'm going to share a YouTube channel with you called Otis Moonlight. It obviously isn't the best channel on YouTube, but it might be the second best. The channel that you are currently watching is actually the best. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hello, sheeple. Let's talk some more about my favourite subject. Airborne bogey monster and the Smacks abomination. Written a few notes here for you. First of all, I've got to say, not again, not again. No way, we're still suffering from the effects of the crap in you crap, the last airborne bogey monster invasion, planet boiling, crime, inflation, all getting out of control. We're physically sick, we're mentally ill, we're financially on the brink. Not the airborne bogey monster again.
Please don't be put off by the yellow dingo costume. I, of all people, understand the desire to maintain anonymity. Lord Satan's wicked empire has a whole lot of checks and balances in place for suppressing truth, and some are rather harsh. Let's check out another snippet of wisdom from Otis.
Let's talk about the trans community and woke. Our governments, via our media whores, are supporting LGBTQ like crazy. This minority group's alleged needs are being forced to the forefront. When minority groups like either this or, say, the Aborigines or immigrants receive a helping hand from often a hidden source, unknown sponsors, there's going to be an evil agenda behind it. Look at Black Lives Matter. They get given a much needed helping hand from unknown sponsors and end up being encouraged to burn down their own communities and create more division whilst the top organisers run off with all the money. And what is planned for LGBTQ community, especially trans, is even worse. If you are part of this community, you have to realise that you are not being given a free ride. There is an agenda here. You will be used. A genuine trans person just wants to transition to the opposite sex, which is absolutely fine. They are not targeting children for anything. They don't want to compete with the biological weaker sex in sport or force you to use silly pronouns, and they're open for reasonable, non-hateful debate about sharing of showers and toilets and whatever issues may arise. But there's a lot of assholes, quite frankly, in any group, and the trans and LGBTQ are no exception. Someone who just wants to transition probably doesn't even understand why certain drag queens are so keen to enter schools or perform for children or discuss identity issues with those too young to possibly understand. Puberty blockers, hormone treatments, and even surgery before the age of 18 is a small part of a satanic agenda. And I'm not being overly sensitive because children are involved. Children are not always sweet and innocent. They're usually brats that need enormous amounts of moral and practical guidance, and sometimes a damn good spanking. But almost nobody deserves to be the target of a satanic agenda. Satanism is coming out in the open via Hollywood, its celebrities, and the music industry. You might not believe in demons, but very powerful elites do, and they nearly own you. They're gaining supreme power because of brainwashed sheeple enforcing enslavement agendas like woke and this nonsense. And also this nonsense.
I really think he's right about this stuff. I have spoken with several trans people over the years, and I don't think any of them were concerned with making laws about pronouns, bathrooms, and drag shows for children, etc. This is all about some kind of hidden government agenda. It's not at all about human rights.
Okay, hello sheeple. I've got an old article here I want to use to demonstrate the complexities of politics. I thought it would be pretty exclusive, but you know, it's old, it's been posted online numerous times, so you may have heard it before, but it's still relevant to the point I want to make. Let's have a look, see if I can grab it with these, and here it is. Okay, so this is entitled A Short Guide to the Middle East from a Mr. K.N. Al-Sabah, and it's during the Obama administration. Right. Sir, Iran is backing Assad. Gulf states are against Assad. Assad is against the Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood and Obama are against General Sisi. But the Gulf states are pro-Sisi, which means they are against the Muslim Brotherhood. Iran is pro-Hamas, but Hamas is backing the Muslim Brotherhood. Obama is backing the Muslim Brotherhood, yet Hamas is against the US. Gulf states are pro-US, but Turkey is with Gulf states against Assad. Yet Turkey is pro-Muslim Brotherhood against General Sisi, and General Sisi is being backed by the Gulf states. Welcome to the Middle East and have a nice day. KN Al Sabah, London, UK. Right.
You may have noticed that, unlike my videos, Otis does not lean on scriptural references. But what he is saying is very logical and makes perfect sense. Not quoting scripture doesn't in any way weaken his teachings. In fact, how he gets a point across will probably be easier to endure for people who are not currently interested in the Bible.
Here in fascist Australia land, they're raising fines for everyone and everything yet again, because apparently that helps somehow. Not wearing your seatbelt, jaywalking, breathing too loudly, everything. Even during the suffering of the lockdowns during the last bogey monster invasion. They did nothing but install 5G, install invasive high-tech cameras and increase the penalties. All this cost us billions, whilst drug companies, unethical health practitioners and politicians made billions. Us pathetic sheeple watched our private businesses get flushed down the toilet because we couldn't cope with the crippling restrictions that big companies can weather. And this is all about control. It's nothing to do with helping anybody. They want to reintroduce these insane restrictions yet again.
I have been watching Otis's channel from the beginning, and just like me, he's learning more and more every time he produces a new video. The quality of his newest videos is much better than his earlier videos, and I'm sure that as time goes on, his videos will get even better. Anyway, I'll leave a link in the description and hopefully another one here in the top corner of this video, if I can figure out how to do that. And as always, if you don't want to survive, don't listen to us.
The moonlight fades with the morning glow. Good night, sheeple.